There is something I need to share before anything else today, because it happened 3 days ago and I have not been able to shake it. And the moment I pulled these cards, I understood exactly why it has been sitting with me so heavily. My sister called me. And my sister is not someone who calls to talk about feelings. She is practical, she is direct. She is the person in the family who fixes things rather than discusses them. So when she called, and the first thing she said was, "I need to tell you something," and I do not know why I waited this long to say it, I sat up immediately. She told me about someone she had known for almost 2 years, someone who had been in her professional circle, someone she had told herself, repeatedly and firmly, was just a colleague, just someone she saw at industry events, just someone whose messages she looked forward to, maybe a little more than, was strictly professional, but nothing she needed to examine too closely. She told me that 3 days ago, this person had asked if they could have a real conversation, not a work conversation, a real one. And in that conversation, he told her that he had been thinking about her consistently for 18 months. That there were nights he had almost called and stopped himself. That he had talked himself out of saying something so many times he had lost count. And that he was done talking himself out of it. And my sister, my composed, "Fix it, do not dramatize things," sister said to me on the phone. Her voice doing something I had never heard it do before. I knew. I always knew. And I kept telling myself I was imagining it. She was not imagining it. She was never imagining it. And neither are you. That is the whole heartbeat of what Spirit is bringing through for you today. Someone has been in their head about you in a way that has gone well past passing interest, well past casual attraction, and they are moving finally, genuinely moving toward honesty about it. Let me get into these cards because there is a lot to cover, and Spirit is already talking. Opening card the Moon, what has been hidden is about to surface. The Moon comes out first, and I want to sit with this card for a moment, because its placement here is not accidental. The Moon rules everything that operates beneath the surface, everything that moves in the dark, every feeling that exists before it has found language. And in this reading, it is the first card. Because it is setting the scene, it is showing me a situation where something very real has been living entirely in the hidden space. In the space between two people, where things are felt but not spoken, where awareness exists on both sides, but neither side has named it out loud yet. Tell me what the Moon is holding for this person. It is holding 18 months of thoughts they did not say. It is holding the feelings that showed up before they had permission to exist. It is holding every moment they almost reached out and pulled back. Every conversation they had with themselves at 2 a.m. about what this is and what to do with it. Every time they saw something that reminded them of you and felt the weight of that reminder, and then went back to pretending everything was ordinary. The Moon is Pisces energy, and it is deep, and it is intuitive, and it does not respond to logic. This person has tried logic. They have tried reasoning themselves out of what they feel. They have made lists in their head of why this is complicated, and why the timing is wrong, and why they should just let it go. And none of it worked. Because the Moon does not respond to logic. It just keeps illuminating what is true in the dark, whether you want it illuminated or not. Here is a practical example of Moon energy in a real situation, and I want you to feel how accurate this is. Think about someone who is impeccably composed in every context where you interact with them. Professional, collected, always seems like they have it together. And on the surface of your interactions, everything looks completely normal, completely appropriate. Nothing that someone standing nearby would point to and say there is something happening between those two people. But underneath that composed exterior, is someone who checked their phone before a meeting you were both in, just to see if you had posted anything new. Someone who replayed a specific sentence you said 3 weeks ago and is still turning it over. Someone who had a dream about you and woke up from it feeling something they spent the whole morning trying to put back in the box. That is the Moon. That is the hidden life of someone who is carrying something significant that has not made it to the surface yet. Spirit is saying the moon is moving toward full. What has been in the dark is getting closer to the light, and honesty is coming. Second card, Knight of Swords, they have made a decision, they are, moving Knight of Swords charges in, and the energy shift from the moon to this card is almost physical. Because the moon is slow and hidden and tidal, and the Knight of Swords is fast and direct and unstoppable once in motion. And placing these two cards back to back is Spirit telling me the long period of internal hiding is over. The decision has been made. And what comes next is movement. Tell me about this decision. What shifted for them? Something broke the holding pattern. It could have been something they saw you thriving, you moving, you living in a way that made the thought of continuing to say nothing feel suddenly unbearable. It could have been an internal threshold that just quietly reached its limit. The way water fills a container until one more drop is the drop that makes it overflow. It could have been a moment of clarity that arrived without warning in the middle of something completely unrelated. However it arrived, something in them shifted from, I am going to keep waiting, to I cannot keep doing this. Gemini and Aquarius energy here. The mind has been engaged in this for a long time. And once the mind of a Gemini or heavily Aquarian person finally arrives at a conclusion, after long deliberation really arrives, not just visits, the action that follows can happen very quickly, because all the deliberation was the slow part. Once that is done, the execution is fast. Practical example that is going to land for a lot of you. Think about the experience of carrying something heavy for a very long time and then setting it down. The relief of setting it down. And then the strange feeling that follows, almost like disorientation. Because you have been holding that thing for so long that the holding had become normal. That is what this person experienced when they made this decision. The putting down of something they had been holding through enormous effort for a long time. And in that moment of putting it down, what they felt was not fear. It was relief. And relief is what sends the Knight of Swords into motion. They are not second-guessing this decision anymore. That phase is over. They have crossed a line internally that does not uncross. And the momentum is now moving in one direction, only toward you, toward honesty, toward saying out loud what has been living in the hidden moon space for far too long. Third card, Four of Cups, reversed, they airy done sitting on the sidelines, Four of Cups reversed comes through. And this card, in its upright position, is someone sitting under a tree, arms crossed. Tuned out from the cups being offered, withdrawn. Contemplative, refusing to engage. Reversed, that whole energy flips. The arms uncross. The eyes open. The person who has been sitting in deliberate withdrawal suddenly turns back toward the world and toward what is being offered. And specifically toward what they have been sitting on the sidelines about for too long. Tell me what this reversal means for this person right now. It means the withdrawal period is ending. And it was a deliberate withdrawal, not because they lost interest, not because the feeling faded, but because they made a conscious choice to hang back, to watch from a distance, to not put themselves in the game until they felt certain enough, ready enough, situated enough to actually play. And the Four of Cups reversed is the moment that waiting by choice becomes impossible to maintain. Because staying on the sidelines now costs more than getting into the game. Cancer energy here. And Cancer on the sidelines is genuinely miserable. Because Cancer needs connection the way lungs need air. They can go without for a while. They can convince themselves that the withdrawal is fine, that the distance is manageable, that they do not need what they need. But there is a limit. And the reversal of this card says that limit has been reached. The body and the heart are saying enough. Enough watching. Enough deliberate distance. Enough pretending this is sustainable. Practical example. Imagine someone who made a very conscious decision about 6 months ago, or a year ago, or longer to just observe. To be in your orbit without doing anything about being in your orbit. Maybe they told themselves they were just waiting for the right moment. Maybe they told themselves they were protecting themselves from the risk of rejection. Maybe they had genuine external reasons that made moving forward feel impossible at the time. And they got very practiced at the watching and the waiting and the not engaging. It became a strange kind of normal. And then something happens. Maybe it is nothing dramatic. Maybe it is just an accumulation of too many moments of wanting to say something and not saying it. Maybe it is watching you interact with someone else and feeling something they did not expect to feel at that level. Whatever the trigger, the Four of Cups reversed is the morning they wake up and the sidelines no longer feel like a choice. They feel like a prison. And they are done. Fourth card, the star, they associate you with hope and something better. The star falls into this reading, and it is so specifically placed here that I almost gasped when it came out. Because the star is not just a pretty card. The star is what people reach for when everything else feels dark or heavy or stuck. It is the card of genuine hope, of renewal, of something out on the horizon that represents everything you have been wishing for, but were not sure would actually come. And in this reading, in this position, this person's star is you. Tell me what you represent to this person. You represent a version of things being genuinely good, not just tolerable, not just functional. Good, whatever their current life situation looks like, and we know from earlier cards that it has some weight to it, some complication. The thought of you exists in a completely different emotional register than the rest of it. You are the uncomplicated thing, the genuine thing, the thing they think about when they want to remember that something real and good exists in the world. Aquarius energy here. An Aquarius at its deepest is someone who is looking for authentic connection in a world that often offers them the counterfeit version. Someone who can spot the hollow thing very quickly and who holds out for the real thing with a stubbornness that other people sometimes misread as coldness or detachment. This person is not cold and they are not detached. They just refuse to settle for something hollow when they had felt what genuine felt like with you. Practical example of what it means to be someone's star in real life. And I want this to land fully. Think about the last time you went through something genuinely hard, a season that was heavy and draining, and that made ordinary days feel like they required more effort than they should. And in the middle of that season, if you were lucky, there was something. A person, a place, a moment, a memory that existed in a different register than the heaviness. That when you thought about it, something in you went quiet in a good way. That felt like a window in a room that had been closed too long. You are that window for this person. You are the thing their mind goes to when the rest of it gets too loud. And what the star is telling me is that the hope they have been carrying about you, quiet, private, persistent hope, is not naive. It is not wishful thinking. It is pointing toward something real, something that deserves to be spoken out loud. Fifth card, Eight of Cups, reversed. They tried to walk away. A and D could not do it. Eight of Cups reversed lands here. And this card tells a story that I think a lot of you are going to recognize immediately. The Eight of Cups upright is someone walking away, turning their back on a situation, moving towards something different, leaving what no longer serves. Reversed, they tried to walk, and they came back. Not because walking was wrong, but because what they were trying to walk away from would not stay behind them. Tell me about the attempt to walk away. At some point, maybe once, maybe multiple times, this person made a deliberate effort to stop thinking about you, to close the door internally, to redirect their energy and investment toward other things, other people, other directions. They told themselves this was the mature thing, the practical thing, the thing that was going to let them move on and stop carrying something that was not going anywhere. And for a while, it almost worked. They got some distance. The thoughts became less frequent. They started to feel like they were making progress at letting this go. And then something happened. A reminder, an encounter. Something that pulled the thread, and the whole attempt at walking away unraveled completely. And they found themselves not further from what they felt, but right back in the middle of it, possibly feeling it even more intensely, because the attempt to suppress it had just given it more pressure to build behind. Practical example, and this is going to be specific enough that some of you are going to feel seen in a way that is slightly uncomfortable. Think about someone who, after a period of internal struggle, made a practical decision to just delete your contact, or unfollow you, or stop engaging with anything in your orbit, whatever their version of the clean break attempt looked like. And they did it. They went through with it. And for maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, they held the line. And then they looked you up anyway, or ran into you in a shared space, or heard something through a mutual connection, or just woke up one morning with you on their mind so specifically and so completely that the whole 2 weeks of effort felt like it had never happened. And they had to confront the fact that this is not something they can logic or discipline their way out of. That what they feel is not a choice they can unmake by deciding not to feel it. 8 of Cups reversed. They tried to leave this alone, and they could not. And the not being able to is what finally convinced them that honesty is the only remaining option. 6th card, 2 of Swords, reversed. The decision they were avoiding is made. 2 of Swords reversed comes through. And this card is so precise for where this person is right now. The 2 of Swords upright is someone sitting with a blindfold on, 2 swords crossed in front of them, actively refusing to look at a decision that needs to be made. Stalemate, deliberate avoidance of clarity, choosing not to choose. Reverse, the blindfold comes off, the swords uncross. The decision that was being avoided can no longer be avoided, and the person has stopped trying. Tell me what decision has finally been made. The decision to be honest, with you and with themselves. The decision to stop maintaining the fiction that what they feel is manageable as silence. The decision to stop choosing the safety of not saying over the risk of saying. And it is not a small decision for someone who has been as internally guarded as this person, as deliberate about keeping their feelings hidden. Choosing honesty is an act that requires real courage. It is putting something precious and private into the open air where it can be responded to or not responded to, and they cannot control which. Libra energy here. And Libra avoids decisions for a very long time. They weigh, they balance, they consider every possible angle. And then when they finally make the call, when they come off the fence, they are committed. Because the decision took so long and so much internal effort that once it is made, reversing it is not something they are willing to do. The 2 of Swords reversed, Libra has decided. And what they have decided is that you deserve to know what they have been carrying. Practical example. Think about someone who is known in their friend group as the measured one, the one who thinks before they speak, the one who never makes impulsive statements about how they feel. And then one day, in a conversation, that person says something that is so unguarded, so directly honest, so clearly something they have been holding for a long time that everyone around them goes slightly still because it does not fit the pattern they expected. That is 2 of Swords reversed. That is someone who held the line of caution for so long that when they finally cross it, the crossing has a quality of finality to it. They are not testing the waters. They are jumping in. That crossing is what is happening for this person right now. And you are on the other side of the water. 7th card, Ace of Cups, a completely new emotional beginning, is on the table. Ace of Cups arrives, and it is like the whole reading just exhaled. Because this card is possibility in its purest form. It is the blank cup, the empty vessel that is about to be filled with something new, something real, something that did not exist in this form before this moment. And Spirit is placing it here to say, what is about to begin between you and this person is genuinely new. Even if the feeling has been there for a long time, the chapter of honesty and openness is just beginning. And beginnings like this are everything. Tell me about what this new beginning looks like. It looks like conversation, real conversation, the kind where both people actually say what they mean rather than what is safe to say. where the subtext becomes text, where everything that has been living in the hidden moon space gets brought into the open and named and looked at together. And the Ace of Cups suggests that when that conversation happens, there is something genuinely beautiful in it. Not perfect, the ace is a cup, it is potential. It has not yet been filled with everything that will eventually go into it. But the quality of what is possible here is real and meaningful and worth the courage it takes to start it. Practical example of an Ace of Cups conversation and what it actually feels like when it happens. Think about a moment when someone said something real to you, not polished, not strategically worded, just honest, and you felt it land somewhere in your chest rather than just register in your brain. There is a different quality to genuine honesty. It has a texture that performed nicety or careful social interaction does not have. It arrives differently. And when this person finally says what they have been holding, it is going to arrive with that texture, with the specific weight of something that is true and has been true for a long time and has finally found its way into words. Spirit is saying, open your hands for this. Receive it without immediately deflecting it or managing it or trying to figure out the correct response before the words have even fully landed. Just let it arrive. Just be present for the beginning of something that your intuition has been telling you was possible. Eighth card, King of Wands, the energy they are bringing is decisive and on fire. King of Wands enters the reading, and I need you to feel the specific quality of this card because it is not tentative. It is not apologetic. It is not the energy of someone tiptoeing toward you hoping not to be rejected. The King of Wands is someone who has fully claimed their own fire, who knows what they want, who approaches what they want with directness and confidence, and the specific kind of charisma that comes from someone who is completely aligned between what they feel and what they are doing about it. Tell me about the energy this person is carrying as they move toward honesty. They are done being small about this, done diminishing what they feel to make it easier to continue saying nothing, done performing indifference in your presence when indifference is the last thing they have ever felt around you. The King of Wands has burned through all of that pretending, and what is left is something clean and direct and real. And they are going to bring that energy to you without diluting it. Aries and Leo energy here braided together. Aries moves. Aries does not apologize for wanting what it wants. And Leo wants to be seen for what they actually are. And for this person, what they actually are is someone who has deep, genuine, long-standing feelings for you that they are finally ready to let be seen. The performance of not caring is ending. The King of Wands does not perform not caring. He just says what is true. Practical example. Think about the specific experience of someone approaching you with their full energy, not holding anything back, not calculating, not managing how they appear. Just direct, just there, just honest. And how different that feels from every careful, managed interaction that came before it. There is something almost disarming about it. Because you have been reading the subtext for so long that when the text arrives directly, you almost do not know what to do with the absence of subtext. That disarming quality is what the King of Wands brings. And it is coming. Ninth card, 10 of Pentacles, they are thinking about this. In terms of something lasting, 10 of Pentacles settles into this reading, and its presence here tells me something very specific about the quality of what this person is feeling. Because the 10 of Pentacles is not the card of casual connection. It is not the card of something fun, but temporary. This is the card of legacy, of something built to last, of wanting something with a future in it rather than something that burns bright and fades. And the fact that it is appearing in a reading about someone's obsessive thoughts about you says something significant about the depth of what they have developed. Tell me what the 10 of Pentacles is showing about what they want. They have thought about you in terms of something real, something with roots and stability and a genuine future. This is not just about what they feel in this moment, it is about what they imagine when they let themselves imagine forward. And what they imagine when they let themselves imagine forward includes you in a way that feels substantial and lasting rather than fleeting. They want something with you that has weight to it, that is built on something solid, that could actually go somewhere meaningful. Capricorn and Virgo energy here. Both of these signs take a long view. Both of them assess potential from the very beginning. And what this person assessed when they first recognized what they were feeling for you was not just attraction, but compatibility. Not just chemistry, but actual real world fit. The kind of fit that makes you think not just about the exciting beginning, but about the possible middle and the possible long way forward. Practical example. Think about the difference between someone who pursues you from infatuation versus someone who pursues you from recognition. Infatuation is reactive, it is about how you make them feel in the moment. Recognition is different. It is slower and quieter, and it has more weight to it. It is someone who has actually looked at who you are, not just the appealing surface, but the real substance underneath, and decided that what they see is someone they want to build something with. The Ten of Pentacles is recognition energy, and that is what this person has been sitting with. 10th card Judgment, the moment of reckoning, is here and they are answering the call. Judgment lands as the 10th card, and it is the most significant card in this reading in terms of timing, because Judgment is the card of awakening and answering. It is the trumpet that sounds when something that has been buried is ready to rise. It is the moment when a person stops running from what they know and turns to face it. And in this reading, it is pointing to right now, this moment, this period you are in, as the moment when this person finally answers the call they have been hearing and ignoring for far too long. Tell me what they are awakening to. They are awakening to the truth that silence is no longer a neutral choice. That every day they choose not to say something is a day they are actively choosing something, and what they are choosing is distance from something they actually want. And that recognition that the silence is not passive, but active, not safe, but costly, is what Judgment brings into full awareness. The reckoning is here. They cannot unknow what they know about how they feel. They cannot unrecognize the significance of what exists between you. And they cannot keep choosing the hiding over the honesty without something in them protesting loudly. Scorpio energy here, and Scorpio does not do things halfway. When a Scorpio arrives at a moment of genuine reckoning, they go all the way in. They do not arrive at the edge of honesty and then hedge. They cross. And when they cross with the Judgment energy behind them, it has a quality of permanence to it. This is not a moment they will reconsider after the fact. This is not a conversation they will walk back. The Judgment card says what is about to happen between you and this person is a turning point. Not a maybe, a turning point. Practical example of Judgment arriving in a real human moment. Think about the experience of being in a situation, a relationship, a dynamic, a long-standing pattern, and the moment when you finally see it clearly for the first time. Not a new revelation exactly, because the truth was always there, but a moment when you can no longer keep the blinders on. When the thing you have been carefully not looking at suddenly takes up your entire field of vision and demands to be addressed. That moment has arrived for this person, with you as the subject. And they are not looking away anymore. Spirit has been giving me additional messages throughout this reading, and I want to bring them all through before we close. First, the obsessive thinking this person has been doing about you is not just romantic. Let me explain what I mean by that. Yes, the feelings are there. Yes, the attraction is there. Yes, everything we have covered in these cards points to something deep and genuine. But the obsessive quality of the thinking, the way you keep coming back to their mind, even when they are actively trying to focus on other things, is Spirit telling me that you represent something to this person that goes beyond just wanting to be with you. You represent a choice about who they want to be. The version of their life that includes honesty and genuine connection, rather than the version that maintains safety through distance. You are not just the object of their attraction. You are the symbol of the life they actually want to be living. Second, there is a specific moment coming that is the trigger. Not the reaching out itself, but a moment that happens before it. Something that occurs in your environment or theirs, something that one of you does or says, or something that shifts in the external circumstances that becomes the final catalyst. And Spirit is saying, this moment is close. Days to weeks close. Not months. Not some vague eventually. The trigger moment is imminent, and the reaching out follows it quickly. Third, when they do reach out, there may be a quality of unexpectedness to it. Not unexpected in the sense that you will be shocked that they have feelings after everything Spirit has confirmed in this reading. You already know what is there. Unexpected in the delivery, the channel, the timing, the specific words they choose. The way the conversation opens may all arrive in a way that is slightly different from what you imagined. The Knight of Swords does not always announce his arrival in the way you expect the announcement. Just stay open to receiving it in whatever form it comes. Fourth, for some of you watching there, is a layer to this reading that involves more than one person who has been in obsessive thought about you. The person we have been primarily reading on is the main energy. But Spirit is also showing me at least one other person, someone who is less far along in their process than the main person, but who is very much in the same territory. Thinking about you consistently, wanting to say something, just behind the primary person in terms of readiness. Watch your environment broadly. More than one person has you on their mind in a significant way right now. Fifth, Spirit is saying something very specifically to those of you who have been managing your hope about the situation, who have been keeping your expectations deliberately low to protect yourself from disappointment, who have been telling yourself, do not read too much into this. Do not get your hopes up. Just wait and see what actually happens. Spirit is saying you can let yourself hope about this. The cards do not guarantee outcomes, and I will never tell you they do. But the evidence that something real is there that is solid. You are not building hope on nothing. You are building hope on something. Let yourself feel it. Sixth, the honesty that is coming from this person is going to invite honesty from you in return. And Spirit is saying, be ready to offer it. Not in a prepared, strategic, carefully worded way. Just be ready to be as real as they are being. Because the Ace of Cups new beginning that is possible here requires both people to be in it genuinely. Their courage deserves to meet your courage. Whatever you have been holding about this situation, about this person, about what you want, be ready to let some of that be visible when the moment arrives. Seventh, this is specifically for the people watching who have been in no contact with this person or who have deliberately created distance. Spirit is saying your energy in that distance has not gone unnoticed by them. Every day you hold your peace, hold your ground, live your life without reaching toward them, they feel it. Not as indifference from you, but as a specific kind of maturity and self-possession that is making them more certain, not less, that you are exactly who they have assessed you to be. Your no contact is not pushing them away. It is completing the picture they have been building of who you are. And that picture is compelling them forward. Let me land this before I let you go, because there is a specific understanding I want you to carry out of this reading and into whatever is next for you. What we covered today is a portrait of someone in the final phase of a very long internal process. Someone who came into what they feel for you through the hidden door, slowly, privately, in the deep moon space where things gestate before they surface, who then tried to manage it and contain it and talk themselves out of it because the situation was complicated and the risk felt significant, who tried to walk away and found that the walking away did not take, who deliberated for longer than was comfortable for either of them probably, and who has arrived finally, genuinely, at the King of Wands level of arrival, at the decision that honesty is the only thing left. That is not a small journey. That is not a casual person who has a passing interest in you. That is someone who has been tested by their own feelings and come out the other side more committed to acknowledging them rather than less. The obsessive thinking was not compulsion without meaning. It was meaning without the words yet. And the words are coming. You were not wrong about what you sensed. You were not imagining the weight of what exists between you. You were not projecting onto a blank wall. What you have been reading in the space between you and this person, the thing that made you click on a video with this title today, that is real. Spirit did not bring you to this reading to console you with fiction. These cards came out to confirm something that is genuinely true and genuinely happening. So receive what is coming with your whole self available. Not guarded, not managed, not already in defensive mode because of everything that came before. Just present, just open, just willing to let something that has been ready to begin for a long time actually begin. That is what this reading was for. That is what Spirit wanted you to hear today. Drop something in the comments if this landed. Tell me what card hit the hardest. Tell me what message from Spirit went straight to the thing you needed. Subscribe so you are here for the next reading, and share this with someone who needs permission to stop doubting what they already know is true. See you next time.